Coffee and Carving. Today, I thought we'd do something a little bit different than flowers and that. A lot of you guys are interested in things that I might not normally carve, and I thought maybe it would be fun to teach you how to draw and how to carve dragon scales. These have been a lot of fun. I went ahead and colored these just because I couldn't resist. I can't say that was a total win. I just used Sharpies, but it's still, these are turned out to be super fun to carve, and I know a lot of you guys are interested in that, dragons and things. So let's get into this thing, and I'll teach you how to carve, how to draw and carve these things. Um, and Look, I'd appreciate any likes, or go ahead and subscribe, and we'll go through a bunch of this stuff. But the more people I can get interested in this thing, the more fun we're going to have. I promise. I would love ideas on things you'd like to see carved, and go ahead, and if you message me on there, I'll respond to you. I want to hear what you guys want. Let's get it going, and I'll teach you how to carve these things. Okay, first things first, you have to draw them, and try. Dragon scales have a design to them. I mean, they're rows, but depending on what you're carving, if you're going over uneven surface and stuff, your rows will kind of vary. So just because of the natural curve of things, this has got a bit of a curve because of it's on an old guitar body, but um, just start, like, drawing your V's. Leave them a little bit apart. Don't bring them all the way together up here, because dragon scales, you don't want to start necessarily up on the point. I don't know. Maybe there's a million ways to draw them, but this looks like dragon scales to me. Leave a little bit down and start your next one, and don't get them perfect. Like, this one's close to the top. This one, having them different sizes and different point shapes is what makes them look like what dragons really look like. Okay. um that's the drawing portion of the thing. The carving is gonna be the way we carve everything. We're going to start with the V chisel, and if you remember when I was talking about the different sweeps of the V chisel, this is the one I was using, and see, compared to this one, this one's much sharper, and the sharper you go with the V chisels, they're a little bit more difficult to use, it seems, because it's almost like you're cutting a channel that's not quite wide enough for the tool to go through. But I mean, that's what it feels like. But recently I've been using. I sharpened this one up the other day at work. I hadn't used it for a while, and I've kind of fallen in love with it. You get a little bit thinner cut. Let's just go ahead and V chisel these out just like we always do. This is again, this is maple that I'm carving into. The majority of our Les Pauls and that will be maple caps on them. So I really love carving with the carving in maple. It just holds its shape well. I mean, you want your tool sharp, no doubt about it. But we've learned to keep our tools sharp anyway, so it just makes it way more fun. Okay, we're back to normal speed now. One thing I wanted to point out, I can't do it so much when I'm showing you guys because I can't move around my table and I'm trying to work around the camera. But if I was doing this, I probably wouldn't run my V chisel up this direction because you're going to run into that. And you know how we've talked about the shoulder of your chisel touching into these. It would be better to start here and V chisel down this way, because if you slip and cut into this part of the dragon scale is going to have to be cut down a little bit to give the reveal of the edge on this part. So if you slipped and cut into that a little bit, it doesn't matter. You're gonna cut this down. Just keep that always in mind when you're doing your V chisel. See, cutting up this way, see those little tips right there? That's where the shoulder of my V chisel, when I hit the top of that, nip into that, it's not gonna matter because I'm just careful and I'm not nicking into them enough that it's going to come off. But it would just be better to go down this other way. I just thought I'd mention it. But always try to keep that in mind when you're first laying that. You just save yourself a little bit of headache. You know, this is fun. So let's get some of these carved out here. As always, I usually take my chisel and get it just a little bit deeper. Just follow my V chisel joint just a little bit and get those down a little bit so I don't tear something up. That's so that I can, like I said, that's the inside. This part's going to be carved down. I mean, as you'll see, dragon scales are not a difficult thing to carve. They're actually really fun. Hope you guys have been having a great week. I know I have been. I've been busy at work and I'm just in a good creative flow right now. I have got so much fun stuff going on. Seems like I just get to work and it's time to head home again, but it's a good way to be, I guess. That's a good position. I love your work enough that your day just flies by. I want to get a couple of these so they'll start to take shape for us a little bit here. Let's see what I'm doing. Maybe I can speed the camera up again and kind of get some more of them, but these things aren't hard to carve, and it's not going to take too long to show you how to do it. Man, it's a beautiful day out there. I walked out before I got my coffee and started carving with you guys. Man, I walked outside and the sun is shining and Must be upper 60s or 70 degrees outside. It's just gorgeous. Birds are all singing. The backyard was completely full of deer laying down this morning. I got up. Just kind of enjoying the weather too. This is what I was talking about with your V chisel. If you carve down this way, see this is going to come down. That's got to come down anyways. No big deal to if you would have slipped. And I suppose that's one thing a person gets if you are a person that likes to use a mallet instead of pushing. I just push my chisels. I don't know why. It's just how I like to do it. But if you use a mallet, maybe you have a little more control from the slipping, or overshooting stuff. I imagine. I honestly have never even tried it, which is a mistake. I'll do it someday. I'll just for the fun of it probably try using a mallet to see what all the fuss is about. But see, I'm trying to get a little curve to these. I think you kind of naturally have to. Like I said, we want these dragon scales to be like they are on real dragons. Now, I've seen a couple of many actually dragon carvings. I know it's a favorite thing for people to carve, and I can see why. I haven't done a dragon guitar yet. I will though. It's funny because I just had an idea the other day. I like to attack things from a little bit of a unique angle. I don't just want a dragon guitar. I want it to be different, different than maybe somebody else might have thought to carve it. I mean, it's hard to be completely original these days, because I tell you, somebody's thought of everything. But you never know. We might swerve into one, do something somebody hadn't thought of yet. I tell you, this is another tool right here. This is I don't actually know the correct name of this, but it's a pointed chisel and 1S5. So I mean, who knows what it all means? Maybe there's different angles and stuff. I've never really looked into that, but this tool, I use it a lot. But it's another one that you better practice. You're gonna make a couple of mistakes with it. It's another tricky one to use in a way, because yeah, you can get right into those tight angles, but what'll happen is you'll forget about this inside edge. You'll be worried about this point, and you'll cut something with that outside edge. It's easy to do. So just like all chisels and things, that all tools really, they're just a learning curve. And maybe at first it'll seem real hard to use, and then when you get used to it, you won't be afraid of it anymore. I haven't really nicked anything with the backside of that for years, because I'm aware of it now. But you're trying to get into the sharp point of a flower or something, or a dragon scale or whatever, and you pay too much attention to that point, you'll you'll hit something with the backside of it, or you peel something off there that you weren't paying attention to. We just tend to focus on that point. At least I do. Or did. Once you're aware of it, then it's a fun tool. It's funny talking about that, what kind of tool that was, and not knowing. I've never been one to care the names of tools or the particulars about them, you know. Like I said, I don't even know what the S means on that. I could look it up, but I just never never cared. When I'm tool shopping, I kind of know what I'm looking for, and I don't care what the name of it is or what the numbers mean. I just don't. I just know what I want to do with it, and that tool looks like it could do it. I'm kind of the same way with guitars. I played guitar. A few bands. I had a cover band. Me and a friend, couple of real good friends, started together, and we were together for years as a cover band. And I played lead guitar for a guy. He was actually a keyboard player, and he played some guitar and sang some stuff in my band. But he was a songwriter, and he still tours around today, doing originals. And I was lucky enough to be his guitar player, so we had a lot of playtime together. But I never cared about particulars of a guitar or any of that. I mean, some of the guys at work, some of the stuff they talk about on guitars, I don't have a clue what they're talking about. I just don't. I'm focused totally on the art at work, and that's what I'm interested in. I get to work at a Gibson, which is a very fun thing to do, but I don't care about it. all the things that they have to care about, the model, that model, whatever, the neck, something. Just I only know what I only learn stuff if I need to. I mean, there's certain things I learn to be able to work there, but I just don't care that much about all the models. My gosh, it's endless, the models of guitars and neck styles and pickups and hardware and all of that. I admire those guys for knowing so much about it, but I don't, and I don't take the time, I guess, because I'm my job is to do the art, and that's what I'm focused on. And see how these are starting to look like scales. Fish scales are different. It's another style. Be truthful, I've not really carved fish scales. I did a koi fish on the back of a neck heel carve on a guitar that I did, but it was wasn't a large enough carving to do individual scales. It was fun though, because it kind of, the tail kind of tipped up like that, and it was kind of 3D looking. That was a lot of fun. I'm gonna fast forward here in a second again, since you've seen the basics of this, but the more we get done, the better it'll look. And you don't want to watch me carve every one of them, so let's go ahead and fast forward. You can just watch it at a faster speed. Alrighty. Got it about done here. That's the way it is with a lot of the carving. It's repetitive stuff, So that's the reason I like to speed it up for you a little bit on some of that. Some of that's just so repetitive, just so you don't have to watch all that. But that's dragon scales right there. And you could probably go a little deeper. You can see what I meant by they're kind of round, because you're trying to get all this to show. So they're all kind of almost arrowhead shaped. That's the way I really remember it on the dragons that I'd seen. But it's been a while since I've actually seen a dragon, so I can't really remember. I can't remember whether these were rough like that, or whether they're, you know, a little more smooth like this. It seems like, from what I remember, they're always, you know, burning villages and whatever, setting everything on fire. So what I remember is they were kind of smooth, a little more smooth like that, I suppose, from the fires. I don't know. But, you know, like that there. Dragons they're definitely ornery, but like I said, I haven't seen one for a while. If you guys have pictures of your dragons, by all means, send them to me. I'd be curious whether their scales are smooth or not. You know, smooth like this. These are pretty small scales. They're obviously on a baby, on a young one. The bigger ones they get pretty good sized. This has actually been a fun little carve. Like I said, I haven't done a dragon guitar yet, but there's certainly a lot of them out there. That's probably why I just felt like it'd been done, and if I couldn't come up with a unique way to do it, I'll leave that one for others. But this has been a fun carve. You guys gotta pick your tools up and give this a try, because if nothing else, it's great practice. Practice carving all the time. I do. I've been carving for years now, and I just can't get enough of it. I love doing this with you guys, and that gives me a chance to experiment around a little bit, you know, and maybe carve something that I'm not doing at work, because like I said, I haven't done a dragon guitar. I'll be anxious to see your pictures of your dragons, of your real ones, so I can see what the scales actually look like. It's hard to find a picture on the internet of a real dragon. It's always the made up ones. Even the dinosaurs, I don't know, some of them probably have scales too, so if any of you guys have dinosaurs, pets, maybe some of those, you know. Well, that pretty much is gonna wrap this thing up. I hope that inspires you to carve a dragon. Or like I said, the scales are they're good practice, but that's how you do dragon scales, guys. Have fun with it. Get your tools out this week. And let me know what you're carving. I mean, I haven't got, this channel's new yet, so I haven't got a lot of feedback, but you guys are watching a little bit, so that's good. And like I said, we can have a lot of fun with this channel if you guys start interacting a little bit with me and let me know what you want to see. And that wraps up dragon scales, guys. And give it a try and get yourself another cup of coffee, get your chisels, and get some pictures of your dragon if you got one, and copy it and make them feel better. They might not burn a village or whatever. We'll see you on the next coffee and carving, guys. Have a great week.